Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
Hi, Tim. Nice to see you. You're a veteran. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We can get started here with our Mississippi State group. A couple reminders before we do start. Please silence your cell phones. If you have a question, raise your hand. Wait for the microphone and state your name and affiliation, please. If you are joining us on Zoom and you have a question, please raise your hand and we will do our best to get to you also. And with that, let me introduce our student athletes with us today. We have Chandler Prater, we have Medina Okot, and we have Jerkayla Jordan. And with that, we will take questions. Anybody? Right here.
Hi, Sabrina Merchant, The Athletic. For any of you, really, what do you think it is about playing in the SEC that prepares you for this time of year?
So many ranked teams and such high-level competition. I think being a first-year player in the SEC, it definitely was a lot of fun just having that level of competition. Like, even if you get knocked down one night, the next night it might be another big one to play again. So just high competition every night.
We'll go here.
Hi, Beth Harris, AP. Maybe Jerkayla or any of you could address it. Just taking on the challenge of a player like Juju Watkins on both ends of the floor and the challenge that she presents.
Oh, you want me to speak? Yeah, Juju Watkins is a generational talent, and it's honestly going to be really fun playing against a player like her who obviously has worked on her game so much and prepared at such a high level and is such a great scorer. So it's going to be a lot of fun matching up against her, and we definitely are taking pride in the fact that we're in this place and we're playing against a high seed and getting ready to go against them at home. So, yeah, I mean, there's no way you can look past her when you're playing USC.
Mm.
Right.
How y'all doing? Kahari Jones with the Culver City Observer. Obviously, y'all playing a top seed like USC. Can y'all just talk about just y'all mental preparation, with all the trapping that you all doing? You all just got a victory yesterday. How do you all prepare for tomorrow's game against a loaded team like USC?
We've been really working, and we've been really putting in work, and mostly defensively. And we just hope that the defense that we had yesterday, because we believe that the defense that we had yesterday is the one that helped us win the game, and we're going to bring it tomorrow too.
Back to Beth.
With obviously, Juju isn't necessarily like just a one-on-one matchup. It seems like, everybody's going to play some kind of part in defending her or whatever. Can you just kind of talk about how you maybe have to take that kind of team-minded approach to that assignment?
Yeah, just like what Medina said, defense is going to keep us in this game, kept us in the game yesterday. Just bringing that defensive mindset, letting our defense create our offense. Like you said, not just one person is going to have to guard Juju. Like, it's going to take a team effort to guard Juju. She's, like Chan said, an amazing player, generational player. So it's going to take all of us to be on the same page, and, we're going to bring it tomorrow.
What have you noticed about USC's defense? I mean, you guys are so good at scoring in the paint, but they're one of the best defensive teams in the country, too. Like, what is it going to take to exert your advantage in the paint against them? I guess Medina.
Wait, hold on. No,
Okay.
I'm just fine. Yeah, Medina, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good defensive team, and we just got to be smart. Yeah.
Was it?
Jerkayla, do you have anything to add to that?
I would try to speak on behalf of my coach. He expressed us making sure we just go up with 2 feet. Make sure we stay in our layup, don't fade away, and just embrace the contact, not fade away from it. Like you said, they're a great defensive team. It's gonna be a physical game, so just make sure we go up strong. And yeah, just going in with a head of steam, and just it's gonna be a battle. So I'm excited for it.
We'll go back here.
Kahari Jones, Culver City Observer. Chandler, can you talk about just, it's women's, obviously it's Women's History Month, does that play a part in just your motivation, to kind of bring more eyes to what's going on today in the hype of everything?
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody about how cool it is to hear like my family members, my friends posting and talking about the women's tournament so much. Like obviously the men's tournament's always the like real March Madness tournament, but like everyone's watching the women's play, and a lot of people are knowing the names and the faces and the stories of the players, which also means a lot because basketball is really cool, but like the locker room and the combination of all the different players from different places and people relating to their stories and being hometown heroes, that's what makes it really special. And especially during Women's History Month, we're putting on for women's sports, and it feels really cool.
Kayla or Medina, y'all want to add to that? Like y'all inspiration just behind playing this month?
They're both hometown heroes.
Yeah,
so,
I would say me from my personal experience. Just remember watching like the women's tournament like on TV and just watching it expand, like you said, like players like Juju, and you see all those players who've paved the way, and even beforehand, just watching how it grown and evolved in time, and like watching it with your own eyes, actually like not only that, but being a part of it, like playing against people who created the way is like I said, it's a cool experience. At the end of the day, like I'm still amazed and shocked, like coming all the way here, like in California. So it's cool and it's experience, and at the same time, we're here to play basketball, but at the same time, we're here to experience stuff too. So I'm grateful and excited for this whole journey.
Any others? Let me ask you, asked you guys about Juju, but USC is more than just Juju. What's your impression overall of the USC team, and without giving away your game plan, what do you have to really work on?
I think they're a gritty team. Teams that play such a difficult non-conference and conference competition, like playing UCLA 3 times up until this point, like they've learned how to stand and fight and to face adversity. But we do that every night in the SEC as well. So I think it's going to be a really gritty game, and it's going to come down to a lot of toughness. Like we said, defense travels, and it's got to come to this gym tomorrow night. So it's going to be tough, it's going to be gritty, and we like a fight, so it's going to be fun.
Anything else? Okay, we'll finish right here.
Kahari Jones, Culver City Observer. Just this question's for any of you all. Like, what's y'all day to day like? As far as like just preparation. Obviously, they're a deep team, like you said. Like Tim just said. Can you just talk about just y'all watch film? Like what y'all resting y'all bodies. Like, what's y'all day to day like?
Yeah. Honestly, we're still kind of adjust to the time. What is it? I wake up at 7 a.m. every day because I think it's 9 a.m. back at home. So just adjust to the time. We got to rest a lot yesterday. I think we're resting a lot today. Really just got to bring our mind, our mental. But I think we're ready. I think we're. Yeah, Medina, what do you think, Medina?
Yeah, just like Jakela said, we're having good rest today. We're off and getting treatments, and yeah, just trying to focus. Tomorrow is not gonna be easy. Yeah.
Shout out to our masseuse, Ebony, who we brought on the road with us, who's been taking good care of us. She's making sure we're ready.
Yeah, Katie Jones, too, our strength coach. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. I like you, my guy.
to check that.
These are good questions, Pete. Let's go. Bring the smoke. Great to see you again, my guy.
See you. Congrats.
Thanks.
Did you happen to watch the game of the teams that might be playing in the next round?
No. In the next round? No.
Probably the best game I've watched in tournament like the last 5 years.
Oh, really? Oh, you're talking about because of today. Yeah. Who won that game?
Kansas State.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, wow.
Okay, we welcome Coach Sam Purcell from
Yes.
Mississippi State, and we will ask you to make some opening comments, and then we'll take questions from the group. And if anyone on Zoom has questions, please raise your hand.
First and foremost, it feels great to be here in Los Angeles another day. The team is excited, but obviously very tired because as much as I bragged about last round's preparation and opportunity with multiple days, you turn around and now are handed the number one team in the country or in our bracket, who I believe it could be the number one team in the country, and you try to jam in as much film as possible without overwhelming them, and then making sure at the same time we recover from last night's war with a lot of rest, rehab, and treatment. And so we feel like we've got a good game plan, but it's going to take an unbelievable effort again, like I said, on the defensive end. And then this challenge too is we got to have our best offensive execution. We can't turn the ball over, and we've got to have people, when we have open shots, knock it down in order to try to beat a team that nobody believes the Bulldogs are going to beat in every single bracket. All right. Like I said, I even turned on the news today, First Take with my guy Stephen A. Smith, and it was already talking about USC versus UConn. So obviously we're just a speed bump that happens to be here. All right. And we're going to try to find a way to make it as a tough a competition as we can tomorrow.
Okay, we'll take questions.
Let's get the good ones.
Hi, Sabrina Merchant, The Athletic. Juju gets a lot of headlines on this team, but I'm wondering
Which she deserves.
I'm wondering what stands out to you about their interior defense in particular, since you guys do so well in the paint.
Yeah, so their length. Again, I was just almost a fan yesterday instead of a scout watching them. They remind me of Kentucky in our league, who leads the SEC in blocks, where their guards are able to put great pressure on the ball, especially Samuels. I think she doesn't get enough credit on this team. You know, she doesn't start. She's not the first guard to come off the bench, but boy, does she change the energy of the game. And when you've got a water bug like that speeds you up, you know, you think you get past the first line, and then, here comes the second line. And so obviously, we're going to actually do a drill today. We haven't practiced, all right, that I'm going to line everybody up. And we're seriously going to do this. We're going to put the ball out, and I'm going to block it out of bounds. All right, and that's how we're going to start practice, because if we can have the mindset that we're going to get our shot blocked, as simple as that sounds, in the women's game, and understand that I need to bounce back and still come at them, then we'll have a fighter's chance. But if we allow their blocked shots to break our spirit, then we need to hurry and warm up the bus, or more importantly, they'll tell the bus driver to turn off the bus, and we better get right back on if we want a chance. So, to your question, it's just they're unbelievable with how well they can get after it, and they can make you look really ugly.
Go here to Beth.
Beth Harris, AP. Little off question from the game, but
Yeah.
With the men's tournament, there's a lot of talk about expansion of the field, and I'm wondering on the women's side what your thoughts are on maybe the pros and cons of possibly making this a bigger event.
Yeah, definitely expansion. I think there's a lot of good teams that you see that didn't get in. Obviously, I'm one of those teams that's always on the back end because of how tough my conference is, especially as we continue to add more powerful members. So I'm going to speak highly for it because just like I thought last year, and I'm speaking from my heart, I thought I had an NCAA tournament team that deserved to be in the NCAA tournament. And that was hard for me to have some transfer kids who came for 1 year and have to tell them, you know what, we didn't finish our goals. But we had a good enough season where I always say the eye test, and Kim Mulkey talks about a lot about this in the SEC, that we need some common sense. And so I think by expanding it, it allows common sense behavior to come in and say this team deserves it, instead of getting so caught up in net rankings or how you finished the last 7 games, that a body of work should ultimately determine who plays in the big dance. So that's why I'm a big favor of expanding it. And then obviously on the women's side, I'm going to take the next question even further if you're okay with this. I'm looking for the growth of getting to neutral sites in the first and second round. All right? Because as much as this game has grown, it's time for that move. All right, it's time that, especially when, I don't want to go negative with the hotels and things that we've heard because the women's game's got in a good spot, but we've got to get into more set sites where we have better accommodations for student athletes at this time of the year because those are the experiences they should experience come March. So that's where I stand. Hopefully that answered. I like the good questions. That was a good one. No pressure, my guy. You got the two ladies here that came with the smoke, okay?
Kahari Jones, Culver City. Can you talk about just, as you mentioned, just being the underdogs? You turned on your TV this morning and you see they already talking about USC, UConn. What does that do to your mindset? How does that make your team upset? Are they fired up? Or they get motivated by that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we fired up. And the best part about it, this ain't the first time we've been the underdogs. We're from the SEC where, it's South Carolina, Texas, Tennessee, Oklahoma. Nobody talks about us. But yet away, we play in a conference and we compete. And we fight for that top spot. And then, obviously, our kids know about us in Mississippi, not just Mississippi State. We get slept on as a state. All right, we have a lot of powerful things and a lot of powerful people that come out of there that we have a platform and a responsibility when given on the national stage to make a statement. And that's the energy and, most importantly, the DNA that is special about the people from Starkville, and that's what I try to have in my young women. Because, again, at the end of the day, are we playing basketball? You better believe it. But I want their education and their growth and who they are as people to always have an underdog mentality because those are the people that eat in the real world, and that's what I want for my young women.
I just want to follow up as well. How often you talk about, obviously, you got Juju as well, but, you say you put emphasis on the others, like Malia Sam used to. You got a lot of other players.
Avery Howell.
Right, exactly, yeah. Avery Howell. Can you talk about just, what's the preparation like?
Yeah, man, it's a lot, right? It's a storm. I'll be honest with you. It's kind of like when we do South Carolina and everything. Most of the times you do about 6 kids on a scouting report. You got to talk about everybody because again, I think the hardest thing for Southern Cal is they got the starting 5, but their identity changes as they make rotations, and what each kid brings to the table comes to life. So you've really got to win segment basketball. I've told them this is like a final that you've studied for the last moment, that you got to make sure even when the third string point guard comes in, you understand what they're going to bring to the table, and we have to win those situations in order to beat a Southern Cal. And again, that's why I keep on saying you've got to have the perfect game, and we got to have it on the perfect night. But that's why I love March Madness. I don't have to beat them 7 times. I just got to beat them 1, and we got to be the best team tomorrow.
Let's go to a Zoom here. We'll take a question from Jacob Bain. Jacob, are you there on Zoom?
He's probably got the mute button like me. Technology is awesome until you forget to hit. Yep. He's on mute. Jacob, you're on mute, my guy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Coach Jacob Bain, GeniusBase.com. Throughout the season, you've always remained super confident in your team throughout the ups and downs of the season. What have you seen from this team all year to kind of give you that confidence?
Yeah, it's life. I'm actually looking at this quote on this back wall, "Fight on." That's the Southern Cal's obviously saying here for their school, and that's what we've done. Is when we've got punched in the face, we've fought on. And again, you can look at our record. We've won 1, lost 1, won 1, lost 1 in overtime, won 1. And I think if you look at the entire work and the body of everybody in the NCAA tournament, most kids fold 2 or 3 games, and my kids didn't do that. They fought on. And so when you go to war with my young women, you come to practice and they don't let losses turn into a second loss, but they want to bounce back. It only inspires you, and when you're inspired, that's where you get the ultimate confidence, and that's why I believe in them like no other, just because of who they are as people, and they're winners. And it's not just basketball. They're winners on and off the court, and I couldn't be more proud coach with a proud group.
Go back here. Jacob, you have a follow-up question?
Yeah. Oh. Yes. Coach, yesterday you decided to start Anaya over Chandler, who's been starting for about a month now. Kind of what went into that decision? Obviously, it worked out with Anaya playing well, but what went into that decision?
Yeah, just to mix up some things. I think if you look at our last 9 games, we haven't got off to we've lost the first quarter. So Chandler is the ultimate warrior. Chandler's somebody that is ultimately a different story because we talked about her when I took her in the portal. She's coming off an Achilles injury, and I told her give herself till Christmas to get her mind right because that's a serious injury, and then just allow minutes to come. And she did exactly what I thought she would, and then she played herself into a starting role. So I went with her because she was playing well, and then we weren't playing well as a team, and I thought Anaya gives us an energy and a lift out the gate, and I just simply told Chandler, I said, Chandler, we're in a special part of the season where I need to steal 6 to 7 points. I think Anaya starts. There's a different bounce about our team, and no offense to you, do you mind? And she was like, no. She was like, Coach, I just want to play at the end of the game. I don't care about the beginning. And let me tell you as a coach, that is the best thing a player can ever say to you, and that's the ultimate, reason why we're having success because it takes people that are willing to be about the team over me. And we made that move, and we won the first quarter, I think 12-5, I believe, right? And then Chandler was an unbelievable performance again, whether she starts or comes off the bench. She just was limited a little bit of her minutes because of foul trouble. But that was the reason it came to life, and a shout out to Chandler for being the ultimate teammate and upperclassman.
Hey, Coach. You have a history with Beth Burns from Louisville, right?
Yes.
I'm wondering what of her fingerprints you see on this USC defense.
Oh, how much time do we have, right? Oh, first of all, they're back to their winning ways. I mean, obviously Lindsay's a phenomenal coach too, but there's a DNA about the way they play on defense, all right, that I know that's Beth, especially how they pick up the ball. My years with Louisville, that was we'd stop practices if we didn't pick up the ball. So I just visualize myself back with her. I see the post-game comments, and I read them now that I study them and some of the language they say and the things they take pride in. I can tell that's Beth Burns. Right? She's just always been a defensive coach where she gets after it. And then when you watch the game film, you can't hide the people that are invested. I love, us coaches, head coaches have a responsibility to work the sidelines and stand up and go at the referees. But the ones who pay attention on the scout, those are the coaches that get the maddest or, I told you not to do this, right? You see that in Beth Burns, and you can see the pride that she gets mad when you give up 2 points, right? We're talking about 2 points. But again, that's why they're the team that they are, and that's why they can make you look ugly because she's a fighter, like I said, especially with cancer research and her whole life and her story. That's why I said it in my last press conference. I hope she gets the flowers that she deserves as an assistant now, that if, they take in other coaches outside the norms of former head coaches, that she gets an opportunity for the Hall of Fame for what she's done for women's basketball, but most importantly for KL research. And there's a lot of people who get on that board but don't stay on it. She's been on it from as long as I've known her, for 15 to 20 years, and she sacrifices her time, and she has a heart for people. So just really proud for her and happy for her, but if she could just take one game off tomorrow for me, all right, that's the least she could do for me since I'm trying to get her in the Hall of Fame. Fair, right? Don't you think? It's Southern hospitality here on the West Coast.
We'll do one last question. Beth, down here.
Beth Harris, AP. I'm wondering if you've tried the jerk sauce.
Yes.
That's on sale down at your place.
It is. It's phenomenal. So actually, Jimmy, who's in here with me, when they sold it first time after Christmas, they had it in our stands with some nachos, and I said, "Listen, I'm not doing press until I get some jerk sauce. I've got to taste this," and it was phenomenal. It's sold out. All right, we got a hot market, just like LA's a hot market. All right, we got a hot market down in Starkville, man. Things are popping off the shelf down there. Credit to her, and then credit to her too, because NIL is a really cool space right now. And a lot of times it's corporate ran where you just put a face on the brand. What was cool about what our Mississippi people did is they actually brought her down to the plant and they made her taste the different sauces. So she chose what her name and her face was going to be on. How cool and dope is that, right? So not only did she approve it, but it actually tastes good. So I'm proud of her, and then just proud of the people in Mississippi investing in women's basketball, just like they are here at the USC on the women's side, because again, the women's game, man, what a great product we got going on right now. And then I also want to give one more last shout out, all right? If I could get some Hollywood stars to DM me or tweet me, all right? I need my people. I know Snoop Dogg's probably coming here from USC, John Legend. I see all these people, all right? I'm trying Jimmy Kimmel, all right? Jimmy Kimmel's from LA, right? Vegas, but he's here in LA, right? Okay, Jimmy Fallon didn't pick the Bulldogs. Okay, so maybe Jimmy Kimmel might want to come in, hit me up on DM. I'll get him tickets. Jimmy, is it too late for the ticket list? I need a star behind my bench. So that's my last request. We're going to play the land of the stars. We got our back against the wall. Let's have a little fun with this, and let's make a great game for women's basketball tomorrow. Does that sound good?
Great.
Thank you.
Coach, thanks for coming
Thanks,
in.
everybody.
Good luck tomorrow.
Have a great day.